Hey everybody, I'm Jesse Swift, and today I'm going to talk about fantastic beasts and where to find them. It's a little too dark in here, I'm going to light it up. Lumos! Also, I'm missing a co-host. So, Akio Tyler. Hey bud, how's it going?
Hey.
Hey, I don't know where you came from, hopefully you weren't sitting on the John.
Yeah. No.
Nor we didn't use our Doctor Strange mode of transportation. We have our handy dandy wands that we got from Diagon Alley, if you guys remember that, way back in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, one of the few Harry Potter films that Tyler has seen.
Yeah.
So you have seen Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, and Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah, and then I saw the end of Goblet of Fire, and I saw Order of the Phoenix.
Okay, well that is a sin that we are hopefully going to correct in the near future. But, luckily, this is a prequel.
Can we correct my flaccid wand?
So, the great thing about this is there's a lot of great things about this movie, actually. So, we're going to do a review. We just came out of the film moments ago. Saw the first showing of Friday morning because I cannot attend Thursday night premieres anymore because my life is ruined by my job. Screw this. Okay. You weren't using it anyways. It's fine. What was your anticipation level going into this film just from the announcement and the trailers and things like that, and that you hadn't finished the series up so far?
Well, I mean, at first, before any trailers came out, really, or like the teasers, I thought it looked interesting. I thought the special effects looked cool, but I didn't really have much of an interest in seeing it. What is that?
To me, this seemed like a Hobbit-like cash grab. This wasn't based off a book or any part of the series. J.K. Rowling herself wrote the story, and then David Yates, who directed like the last 4 or 5 Harry Potter films, came on to direct it, and it just seemed like, well, we haven't had a Harry Potter movie for a while, so how can we bring that audience back and just get guaranteed cash? And so I resented that, just like I resented the Hobbit films that I didn't get very much enjoyment out of.
Yeah, because I didn't learn until later on that it was just like a theatrical debut, like original for her.
Yeah.
Okay.
J.K. Rowling
Yeah.
is it, yes.
And yeah, because I thought I had these like little books. Like there was like a red one and a green one. They're like Harry Potter books, but they weren't like Harry Potter books. I thought they were making a movie spin-off of one of those.
It kind of is, kind of isn't, because in the Harry Potter verse, there was a book titled Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by Newt Scamander. I think it's referenced in one of the movies. If it's not, it's referenced in the books or something like that.
Okay.
So what they might have done is made a short something that would have been like what he wrote. It wouldn't be what the movie was based off of.
Okay.
You understand? Like, it wouldn't be a retelling of the adventure.
Okay, so that's what I thought it was, though.
Yes, that's
at the beginning.
Early reviews started coming in, and people were saying that, hey, it's great. There's a lot of unique things about it. It's awesome to see a fresh new telling in the chronicle of the Harry Potter stories.
Sure.
I mean, technically,
one that's not Harry Potter.
Yeah, I mean, this is, we call it a Harry Potter movie, but really it's not. It takes place in that universe like 70, 80 years prior, because it's in the 1920s.
I like Harry Potter. I just was never, I was into it when I was kind of following Harry Potter's age when the movies came out. Actually getting into the movie itself,
yes,
this made me want to actually go through and rewatch the ones I've already seen and see the ones that I haven't seen. I understand, I've always understood Harry Potter, understood why people like it. I just never took the plunge, to get into it.
I kind of lost interest around 7. I think that's when my Harry Potter fandom kind of died out. And I'm going to tell you that it's back. So let's go into the movie. I'm going to say this movie has brought me back. I think it's brought a lot of fans back. And I would love to see where they go with this series moving on. So I want to talk first about the characters. Obviously, we have Eddie Redmayne playing Newt Scamander. I don't know if you're supposed to say Scamander. Scamander. I just say it weird.
Scamander.
Just like I say Schmearg.
Schmearg.
Dragon Schmearg.
Just say Schmearg.
Schmearg. Anyway, so we have Newt Scamander, Eddie Redmayne. What did you think about
Brian Redman?
What? What do you think of kind of the characteristics and the mannerisms and everything that Eddie Redmayne brought to the character? I love all the little nuances and things that he had.
He was very Matt Smithy. Very, very Matt Smithy.
And I haven't obviously seen enough Doctor Who to make a true comparison, but visually I can see it.
I was just, there was something about his performance that I'm looking at it and I'm watching him like talk, and like you could see in his eyes, it just seems like he's outside of here, kind of like watching the rest of it happening.
Yeah,
and trying to kind of struggle through a vessel, but it's not bad. Like he was a great character. His acting was good, but it just how do I word it? It seems like there was some sort of unawareness, like outside of yourself, inside of like through his acting.
Right,
that's what it seemed like. So
I can see that, and I really appreciate. I saw a couple of interviews where they were talking about like where'd you get the inspiration for your character, and just listening to all the research and things that he thought through and practiced in front of the mirror and stuff to get this character to be so unique and memorable and stand out in a world full of magic and creatures and spells and stuff like that. It's hard to have somebody that really stands out as being unique.
Oh yeah, and don't get me wrong, like he was a fantastic character. He was a fantastic main character, and he did a great job. I really like the character of Newt more than, I mean, it's the most fresh in my head, so I can't say I guess I like it more than Harry Potter, but I like this movie a lot, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Whereas Harry Potter, I was like, oh yeah, it's another Harry Potter movie.
Exactly. I love the fresh take on it, and there's something I really want to get to in a little bit between the comparison between this and Harry Potter and why maybe, possibly, quite possibly, I prefer this to all the Harry Potters. We'll talk about it. Yes.
Tonight at 6.
Tonight at 6. So let's also talk about one of the first characters that he encounters, which is, I can't remember his first name, but everyone in this movie goes by their last name.
Jacob?
It seems, yeah. Oh, it is.
Jacob
That's right. It's
Kowalski.
Jacob. Jacob Kowalski.
Dan Fogler from Balls of Fury and Fanboys.
I'm glad you knew his name, because it's one of those faces that I've seen everywhere, but I didn't know his name. I love this character, and I feel like he is the audience's eyes into this world. And just how he perfectly portrayed wonder and awe, and just everything was a comedic situation for him. Like, he was the comedy relief, but he also wasn't just a token comedy relief character. I thought he was very well handled.
I think he was handled fine. I think he was a pretty like basic human character in like a magic world, but that's not to say that he didn't do a great job and then he wasn't good. But I think it was great introducing a human character to show you kind of exactly what you said, like the eyes opening to the magic. Because if it was just a bunch of, you know, wizards that have been doing wizard shit the whole time, nothing would be amazing. It would just be, you know,
exactly
sort of the happening.
I think that's what heightened the whole movie. In the original Harry Potter series, all this magic was new to him because he went from 0 to like 10, 11 years old without ever seeing magic. So
I think he was 11, yeah.
Yeah, so it was like his 11th birthday, I think, that he went to Hogwarts. So when he sees all this, it's amazing to him, and because of that, it's amazing to us as the audience. And they were able to, I think, duplicate that with a different character in this film.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, there's a moment towards the end of the film where I'm getting real close to just, you know, he tugs at your heartstrings, and I think as somebody that, you know, like you said, Balls of Fury, typically comedic actor,
yeah,
I thought it was
a
very
great
strong performance.
Well, yeah, it was a good performance. It was good. So
I think to me, maybe all of my perspectives on this film have been heightened by how low the bar was in my head, and I don't know why I put it so incredibly low. But anyways, I was impressed with that performance, and somebody that to me was just a good performance was the character of Tina.
Yeah, Porpentina.
Yeah, Porpentina. We just looked up her name because I already forgot about it in the movie, even though everyone's name is said like several times throughout this film. But there's so many other things going on. It's hard to Tina Goldstein, Porpentina. We looked up. I was like, no wonder they never said her name. It's freaking ridiculous. Her character was fine. She was serviceable. I feel like she did what she needed to do in the film. She didn't really do anything that wowed me, I'll say. But I don't have any complaints, really.
So the human guy that didn't do anything that was wowing was fantastic. But the woman...
No,
I'm just kidding.
Stop it. To me, he showed more emotional depth than she did. Like, she did have one kind of emotional scene, but I feel like he was all over the map, and she's just kind of solid throughout the film.
Well, she had a couple of sort of like shameful moments of her, like
Right.
embarrassment and stuff like that, and other things like coming out of shells. But Dan Fogler's character Kowalski, he like had the whole spectrum
Exactly.
of
That's what I was saying.
everything at his fingertips. Everything was new, so all those emotions, it's all exciting.
And I also think
Brand
it's
new
harder
roles in.
when you're written to be figuratively the straight man. I mean, straight woman. But whenever you get somebody that can successfully provide comedy in the film, I'm probably going to lead towards their performance a little bit more because emotionally I connect more with it. So I'm not saying whose portrayal of their character was stronger.
I thought her chemistry with every character was great.
Yes.
She was a very, very believable and very relatable character. Right off the jump, like, you understand a lot about her, and you are on her side. Like, you want to be on her side. She's, however, fighting against, the main character in a way at certain stages. So you kind of like don't, you're kind of at like a, what's the word, tug of war.
Absolutely. You're not really sure if you're going to like her character for, I think, the first chunk of the film. At least that's how I felt.
Well, if she was never going to wipe the mustard off her face, I was going to be really upset.
I'm not even going to call it... Yeah, she's got 15, 20 minutes. She's got like a little thing of mustard on her lip. And me and Tyler kept looking at each other. I'm like, she needs effing mustard off her face.
And it didn't even look like mustard. It looked like the whole hot dog she had in the first place looked like this weird, like, prop, strange looking. I don't know. Did it look weird to you? It looked like a weird hot dog.
I'll tell you what, it was not a dainty hot dog. The hot dog was like this big. I'm like, really, girl?
And it had like this strange yellow on the mustard.
Right.
But anyway.
And then her...
Hey, let's talk about the hot dog in the movie for a minute.
Yeah, at least a minute. It comes back, trust me. The post-credit scene, the hot dog comes back.
For revenge.
Mustard all over her face. Did I already forget? By the way, we saw an IMAX 2D.
Yeah.
Something that I did not know was a thing, but I'm glad we did. I like seeing that on the big screen.
Oh, did we like her character? Goldstein? Tina Goldstein? I did. I really liked her. I don't know. I thought she got along great with all the characters. I thought she did a great job.
Absolutely. And then I agree. I think she was an adequate character, and I want to also talk about her sister. Do you remember her name? Because I've already forgot. Oh God! Oh God! Oh God! Well, anyways,
Something Goldstein.
what was the actress's name? She's got a weird name. It's like something fancy.
Fine. Her name
Fine
is
Frenzy.
Fine Frenzy.
The actress's name is Fine Frenzy. But anyways, her character, she comes across in the beginning as a very stereotypical bubblehead blonde, and I'm like, I'm probably not going to like this character. I think it's unfortunate that they went that route. But she had chemistry. I really started to kind of fall for her character and enjoy her presence.
She did a lot for the other characters, and she wasn't just like the what did you say, bubblehead?
Bubblehead? Yeah, I don't know.
She wasn't just that. She actually went out of her way to help a lot of characters and did a lot for the film.
She was like a shining light in the film. Like, she just had this aura of you wanted to hug her.
Well, I mean, but not just the film, like the characters themselves. Like, she did a lot in the movie. Yeah, and her chemistry with Dan Fogler's character was good too, so.
Somehow made me believe that, even though, like, if you would have put the two together, you might not have seen it. But yeah, I don't have a lot else to say about her, but I appreciated her being in the film and what she brought to the chemistry between the characters. And let us talk about, on the other end of the spectrum, we have several other characters that are maybe on the other side of the fence. One of them being my boy, Colin Farrell. I love me some Colin Farrell. I don't know what it is. It's not like he doesn't 100% of the time always bring it, but I've never not liked Colin Farrell.
It's his face.
Something about his... I just think he's awesome. And like Bullseye...
I think he's awesome.
He plays a great...
I think he's a beautiful man.
He's a beautiful man. His eyebrows are most certainly on fleek.
He's hypnotic. I don't know. Like, I keep wanting him to do like some sort of turnaround Snape kind of thing,
Yeah.
Like, in the film. Because, well, at first you know nothing about him. He does the Luke Skywalker not saying anything, just staring dramatically.
And even in the trailers, I'm like, are you bad?
Yeah, what are you? What is your character?
I thought Colin Farrell did a growingly or progressively good job in the film, I would say. Like, I was a little underwhelmed by his performance, but after we reached like the halfway point in the film, I started really liking kind of this. He did sinister without going over the top. Did you kind of notice the subtle?
Once the story goes on, his character shows a little bit more light, and you start to understand
Unveiled.
what the character is about. There you go,
Yeah.
Unveiled.
You get to see behind the curtain a little bit.
But the reason that the sinister that it is not so like evil and sinister is because in his mind he's actually logical and right,
Which makes the best villains every time.
He doesn't want really harm to come to anybody. He's not actually a bad guy. It's just perceived as a bad person to one side of the...
Exactly. There's often villains that... Take a Magneto, for example. He's trying to do right by his people. That's a good example, I think. He's the Magneto,
would be the Magneto
of the magical universe. He's trying to do right by his people and get through whatever means it takes to do that. Again, Zod wanted to do whatever he could to protect the people of Krypton and bring Krypton back. To me, those are my favorite villains. You can always have the chaotic villains like the Joker, which I love and appreciate, but the ones that you can relate to, understand, and say, would I do differently in those shoes, are the best, in my humble opinion. So I really enjoyed his character. We'll get to... I want to talk a little bit about Ezra Miller. So this is... I think we might not see him in another movie until Justice League, but I could be wrong. I might have to look up IMDb. But he is the Flash. If you didn't already know, Ezra Miller is the Flash. He's known for... we got to talk about Kevin and I believe Perks of Being a Wallflower. We saw him briefly in Batman v Superman.
Briefly in Suicide Squad.
Which I loved.
Briefly in Trainwreck.
Yeah, that was the next one I was going to bring up is Trainwreck. Real quick, Trainwreck was the first thing I ever saw Ezra Miller in, and it was right after he was announced as the Flash. I was like, oh god, we don't know about this. But I'm going to like him. He's a very talented actor that can really go wherever you want to put him and do anything. I've seen him go all over the place. He's been on every spectrum of dramatic, comedic, all that good stuff.
So what is this character like in this?
Standoffish a little bit. He's a little sheepish. And I compare that a little bit to what I saw in The Accountant, and where they can't quite socialize. But yeah, I definitely wasn't really sure where they were going to go with Ezra's character. Clarence.
Credence.
Like
Credence,
I knew it was like a band.
Revival.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, Clarence, what's the band?
Credence.
Yes, Credence. And you look up on IMDb and no last name. So we should have the same last name as another character that I want to talk about. But you weren't really sure. You knew that this character was going to have an intentional purpose in the film, but you spend at least half the film trying to figure out what it is. And we think we predicted it early on, and then they throw you for a loop, and then you end up being right. Interesting story with that character.
Clearly somebody that's just never gotten anything, was just always beaten over everything.
Sure.
Heavy abuse.
Yeah. It just seems like from a very early upbringing, this character was belittled and beaten, and he finally finds someone he thinks can be his confidant and his friend in Colin Farrell's character.
And this is the most extreme I think that I've seen of it. This is like some Reek level shit, worse.
Yeah.
It's like no confidence, no courage, no personality really. It's just this guy waiting for the next time he's beaten.
And this is why I think Ezra Miller is such a fantastic actor, because if you've ever seen him interviewed, he is one of the most engaging, exciting, loud, vibrant actors I've ever seen. Very entertaining to watch interviews and stuff. And so for him to reel it back so far for this role, I think was really impressive.
Yeah, I think he did a good job.
Brings me to, and I forgot to look up the name of the actress or the character, but there's a character who is leading the group, the Second Salems.
She looks very, very familiar. I just don't know exactly what is she from.
I didn't even think she looked familiar, other than that she really reminded me of the bitch from Harry Potter 5.
She does a couple of things that piss you off because you know the true nature of the main female character,
right?
Or the female lead.
But they call it the Second Salems because they're trying to bring about the Second Salem witch trials, because she is aware of Anyways, you pretty much immediately hate this character. She's pretty horrible, and she's definitely like, she's a witch, ban her! Kind of stereotypical character. I feel like she was just in the movie to add a little bit of depth that we haven't gotten to see in past movies in this universe, but it was cool that she was there. Box.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She adopted all these children and then apparently
she
beat them
didn't
all
look
since
familiar and all. Yeah, she was a total bitch.
She was horrible.
Yeah, she's a horrible, horrible human being.
The second that he comes home late one night and she asks him to, she beats him with his own belt.
No, she just waits for him to take it off and hand it to her, though.
Right.
I noticed that, and I thought that was kind of fucked up.
Like, it's just the anticipation. He just walks on and says, oh, I screwed up. Here's the belt. And I beat my hands. And I think that was well portrayed, but pretty tough to put there. I'm like, oh, poor Barry Allen.
But then you understand kind of like how he is like the way that he is.
He's
like
a beat dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know how they whimper and cower and they don't trust anybody, and if you push them too far, they're quickly to turn and snap on you. Funny. They introduced several new elements to the magical world that were never covered in past films, and I love seeing that. The creatures to me in IMAX on the big screen look so much better than they did in the trailers. Like, even though they're clearly purely CGI,
right?
I bought into the fact that they were there and people were touching them and feeling the feathers, the fur, the interaction with the world.
Well, CGI has come a long way. Like, it looks pretty much real at this point. You know, especially if you spend the time and money, they could get like a realistic looking shark person on Flash TV.
I think there's so many other things. This movie has so many more layers to it than you saw in the trailer.
Yeah.
They did not show the true premise of the film. The whole Fantastic Beasts thing is kind of like the overarching cover of the film, but there's other things happening in between, which I didn't expect and I appreciated. You have the whole thing happening with Grindelwald, who is an evil wizard on the loose. This is well before Voldemort's time, so Grindelwald is the current menace to society.
He's current Voldemort.
Yeah, he's the current Voldemort. Less extreme, though. Less like, I want to kill everybody. More like we were saying earlier. What stood out to you in the film, other than, of course, we talked about the CGI and the
special effects, the characters, obviously, for 30 minutes. I actually thought that the story was good. It wasn't like a bland, nowhere story, you know, like the same retelling formulaic thing. It was actually its own thing. And again, and it wasn't, it was Harry Potter, but it was so much not Harry Potter at the same time. For something that was already about an already established universe. I don't know. I just thought it was. It could have had like its uniqueness, and then it could have just like followed like some formulaic structure. And in some aspects, it did a little, you know.
Right.
But I'm noticing kind of like everything sort of does to tell a good story. You know, you need like a start, middle, and finish.
I appreciate that this movie, and I mean, it's a prequel and it's not. Like, it takes place before the Harry Potter universe. But the reason I say it's not really a prequel because so many times when we go back and tell stories, look at the Star Wars prequels, you look at the Hobbit films, they are beholden to the past
of characters,
the past films. Like, everything that happens in the prequels is the Star Wars prequels is leading up to what we've seen and what we know, and like every single scene is setting up something else in further movies. Same with the Hobbit. It's like, we're getting to Lord of the Rings, we're getting to Lord of the Rings, they're getting Lord of the Rings. Nothing really in this film is like, we're going to get to the Harry Potter stuff. It's like it wasn't relevant. It's like, this is another story, different time.
They brought up Hogwarts like twice, but that's it.
Yeah, because that's a huge part of the world. Like, regardless, it doesn't matter that Harry Potter went to Hogwarts. Every British wizard went to Hogwarts.
Yeah, they even argue over whatever the other one is, the American one.
There's several things, like, I love all the magic talk and stuff like that. I like picking up and trying to learn it. But there were several moments in the film where they'd say, oh, that's a... I'm like, a what? Or like, we went to this American magic school. It's... I'm like, what are you saying? Like, there are several things that just kind of came out like muffled.
Yeah, there were actually a couple of lines that were intangible to me. Like, I couldn't make out a single word, but I don't think they were saying magic stuff. I would just think it was... I don't know. I don't know what it was. I was like, what did he say?
I think I remember the one little platypus thing was called like the Niffer?
Nifter, snifter.
I think he was my favorite though. He was like this little kleptomaniac platypus that would steal gold and silver and stuff like that.
I like that rhino thing. That was pretty funny.
The one that Yeah, and I think both of us got some good laughs in this film, so it was very super entertaining. What I really wanted to comment on is the comparison and the reason that we're getting to my main points now. We're getting to my highlights. Why I think I love this movie more than any Harry Potter film. I grew up with Harry Potter. Tyler grew up with Harry Potter. When we aged with him, like we're both around that age when Sorcerer's Stone came out. So it's like, other than the fact that obviously he grew up slower than we did because the movies came out like every 2 years, but it did feel like we were aging with Harry Potter as he got older, we got older. But eventually we got to the point, by the time 7 came out, we're adults and he's like graduating age. So there started to be this departure, and that's kind of the reason I felt separated from the films. I still felt like I was watching a bunch of kids, even though the films got darker. Getting to my point.
No, I completely agree with that. Yeah,
okay, thank you.
That's probably a good reason why I stopped too.
There's no kids really. I mean, kind of, but there's no real children as main characters in this film. And this is the film that I feel like, hey, you all grew up with Harry Potter. You're adults now. We're going to treat you like adults, and we're going to give you an adult-flavored movie set in this magic universe. There's darker elements to it. It's an adult cast, and we get to see fully realized wizards and witches, not ones that are in training or learning or figuring their stuff out. They've done it for years, and so we get to see so much flawless execution of all these spells and things like that, and that's one of the things I found to be the most entertaining about this film. That's my big point about what separates it. And then I'll get to my ratings when we're ready to get to ratings.
No, I like that. I like that what you said about it a lot, because now that I am thinking about it, I think I did unconsciously put the stigma of this is for kids.
Right.
Just like kind of what we fight against about like cartoons and shit like that.
And it's not that
this has kids in it. It's for. I didn't think really it was for kids.
That's the demographic.
Yeah,
but it's a family film, and this still is a family film.
Sure.
But I feel like adults can get more enjoyment out of this than they did.
But so the Avengers is a family film.
Sure,
but you can enjoy it by yourself without having a family.
Bring the tissues back. I need one. Just kidding. I don't want to touch this.
I don't want to touch it.
But is there any lasting points that you want to make about the film other than... I mean, I really... If you've liked or enjoyed any Harry Potter films, or you like magic, maybe you like Doctor Strange, a little bit different, but I still recommend...
I would recommend it if you didn't even like the Harry Potter films.
As long as you're not a piece of shit, I recommend that. No judgment.
No, yeah, I would recommend it. I think I rambled enough points that I had about it. I think it's pretty good.
I want to recommend this film. That's my little newt salamander. No shave November, everybody.
I'm not. I shaved this morning.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let's get to the ratings. Definitely want to know what you guys think also, so in the comment section down below, let us know what you like, what you not like. Are you looking forward to seeing another film? And let's get with our ratings. What do you think overall about the film? If you need to break it down like we did with Strange, break it down, let me know.
No, I'm just gonna give it a 7.
A 7?
Yeah.
We have vastly different opinions on this film. So I was smiling throughout the entire film, I believe. And like I said, I rate the Harry Potter movies decent. Like they range between...
Actually, can I give it like a 7.5?
You can give it a 7.5, absolutely. So Tyler's final rating is 7.5. And the Harry Potter movies for me range between a 6.5 to an 8.5, probably throughout the franchise. I'm giving this movie a 10. That's right. Biased opinion here. I'm giving it a 10 because I had no real problem. I was thinking about the whole movie. What do I not like about this film? Because usually there's something I can pick out. There's something that I don't like. Is it a stereotypical plot we've seen a million times? Is it effects that aren't that good? Acting that's not that good? Jokes that fall flat? Nothing in this movie fell flat for me. And for what it was aiming to do, who it's targeted for, it is a perfect film in that pool.
Yeah, you're right. There are a lot of things. I think I might bump it up to an 8. But I'm not going to go as far as saying like 9 or 10.
That's fine.
Like, it was a really good film.
I'm glad I've convinced you up the point.
Everything that you have said is very true. It is a completely unique story. And it is great. And there are no problem characters in it whatsoever. So
I don't feel like there's any weaknesses to the film. And I think the only reason somebody else wouldn't give it a 10, which is fine, like I said, biased opinion here, is that is there any elements of the film that aren't... If it's not 100% your type of film, which I didn't think it would be, but it ended up by the end of the film, I was like, this is more than I could have asked for or wanted from this film. I'm more than satisfied, happy, and I have nothing negative to say. When I have nothing negative to say, you get a 10. Last time I gave a 10 might have been The Revenant.
Which I still haven't seen. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that, like, I can understand how it would be deserving of a 10, and I didn't really expect much from the film. I got way more than I expected. And to say that I gave, like, Suicide Squad and Batman vs. Superman a 7, that's why I'm bumping it up to an 8.
There you go.
Because it is much more deserving than those films. But
yeah, what did we complain about? This whole review, I think, has been positive.
Well, no, I mean, there are some... I didn't have any problems. There were just some things that, like, weren't outstanding.
Sure. That's fine. So it gets a good rating, which is an 8.
Strong 8. There you go.
Awesome.
Strong 8.
Okay, guys, so that's our final thoughts. Definitely tell us what you thought of the film. Give us a rating. All that's good stuff. Please go see it, whether, like Tyler said, whether you've seen Harry Potter or not. Great film. Good time. Bring your kids, brother, sister, significant other, all that good stuff. Go see the film, and that's it for us. So...
Later.
I don't have my wand, but I'm going to evaporate anyways. May the film be with you guys. We'll see you next time. Poof.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and keep an eye and an ear out for exciting new content. Be sure to follow us on all the social media sites. Twitter is @TheFansplash. YouTube, just search Fansplash. We've got an open Facebook network, Fansplash Network. Instagram is fan_splash_podcast. SoundCloud.com/fansplash. You can email us, thefansplash@gmail.com, and Reddit @r/fansplash. Title and end credit songs written by Jacob Hall. See you next time.
May the film be with you. Always.